Hi there. Welcome to Time Management Glow Up, Mastering Your Schedule and To-Do List. My name is Liz, and today in this short workshop, we're going to be going over tools, strategies, and an implementation plan so that you can level up your time management. We all have a lot on our plates. So how can we manage our time to create flow rather than flustered frustration? Today in this workshop, we're going to be going over all of the things that you will need to really glow up in terms of time management. Once again, my name is Liz, and I'm a student success coach here at Salle University. My role is to work with students as they begin their journey here at Salle in order to help you face challenges and celebrate triumphs. I'm here as a listening ear and someone who is really here to be in the passenger seat while you're driving along your college journey. I might suggest places for us to stop, places for us to maybe change routes, but I'm really here to help you drive your way and guide your way through this college journey. Questions, concerns, thoughts, feelings, you're always welcome to reach out to me. And I really hope that this training is a great first step and a look at what coaching might look like if we decide to work together this semester. Today, we're going to be going over strategies for managing your busy schedule and that long list of to-dos. We're also going to be discussing the different tools that you might utilize as a part of a time management system. And last but not least, we're going to talk about ways to implement these ideas into your daily routine that you already have. Maybe time management hasn't been a priority in the past, but my hope is that you walk away from this workshop with some tangible tips and ideas about how to start using different tools, considering different strategies, and ways that you can really begin to bring these things into the routine that you've already established. First up, let's talk about tools. So, depending on what you are most excited to utilize, the first consideration when it comes to what tools to use is paper versus digital. So for those of us who love using our phones, maybe an app or some type of a web-based calendar is going to be the best tool for you. I also love having a physical calendar and planner on my desk. So maybe something that is on paper, maybe handwriting your to-do list or your calendar for the week is what's really going to help you be able to stay focused. So this first step in tools really focuses on what your preference is, whether it's going to be using paper and handwriting in your planner or hand creating to-do lists, or if you want to use an app where you can set notifications, be able to update things quickly while you're on the go. This is a total personal preference, so feel free to consider what options you might use. Perhaps a combination of both will be best. There's also this kind of center category of what type of organization do you want to use? Are you more interested in organizing your agenda and your tasks? Is a calendar overview going to be the best fit for you? These are things to think about. Whether you want to focus on a smaller slice of the whole, or you're really interested in creating a system where you can get a large overview, again, really comes down to personal preference. Is it easier for you to write out a to-do list and prioritize from there? Is putting things on a calendar or a weekly schedule going to be the thing that supports you in really staying on top of managing your time? And last but not least, I always love to add exciting additions to this area of tools, whether you want to color code, use different stickers or drawings. How can you really make the planning process more fun? Whether you're using apps and you love color coding, or you're creating a handwritten to-do list and you want to be able to use different stickers or categories or doodles in order to bring things to life, I'm curious what additions you might decide to make. I think that adding this element of excitement and fun can really make the tools process an exciting piece of time management, something that keeps you coming back to the tool and really using it over time. Next up, we're going to talk about strategies. So when it comes to strategies, there are lots of different ways that folks use to manage time. For some, having focus time, blocking out times in your calendar to focus on specific projects, in addition to blocking out classes and other commitments. Focus time can be one way. Another strategy is prioritization. What things feel most urgent? What should I focus on and why? How does this change your time management plan once you've prioritized what bits and pieces need to be focused on first? Prioritization is another area that we strongly recommend students work on in order to be able to identify where things need to happen and when. Last but not least, a strategy that I recommend to students is something I call the review. The review is all about spending a short amount of time, either weekly or daily, reviewing your planner, reviewing your tasks so that you can stay focused and be clear about what upcoming deadlines there are. I often like to use Sunday nights as my time for the review. I'll sit down and plan out what my week is going to look like so that I really have a clear idea about what I need to get done during the week. And then each day in the morning, I'll sit down and quickly go over my planner. What are my major tasks for the day? What do I need to prioritize? Where can I perhaps block out some focused time to work on my different projects? So these three strategies, of course, can be used in tandem, but they're also great starting points. Perhaps you've been making to-do lists and that's been really effective for you. So how can you use prioritization to start figuring out where your focus should be first and what things are most urgent? Perhaps you decide to use focused time and begin blocking out some of those times between classes or between class and work in order to have a very specific amount of time that you're working on a particular project or assignment. As an example, perhaps you have a break from 12 to 1 in between classes. So maybe from 12 to 12:30, you go and have lunch, relax with friends. But then from 12:30 to 1, perhaps you want focused reading time because you need to catch up. All of these strategies are beginning ways to kind of get started. Some other methods include things like the Pomodoro Method, and certainly there are tons of ideas that you can find for time management. Our peer academic coaches are also great resources if time management is something that you want to talk about, and you've been testing some of these strategies, but maybe you need a little bit more advice. So now that we have some ideas of what tools are out there and what strategies we might use, it's time for us to get started. Choosing a tool is your first place to start. Honestly, sometimes this is the hardest step. So it might be easy to start with something that you already have. Maybe it's a notebook, a planner, a calendar. Maybe you choose to download an app. Choose what's going to work best for you. Maybe you have been using your Canvas calendar and you want to be utilizing that more. Perhaps the Outlook calendar is something that would work for you, the one that's attached to your Salle email. Of course, having a planner or a notebook, something physical, is always an option, and there are plenty of places for you to be able to get one of those. Next up, choose a strategy. Like I said, all of the strategies we talked about today are great starting points, and certainly they can be used in tandem as well. So is it going to be easiest for you to prioritize your to-do list and make that a part of your routine? Perhaps you want to start time blocking on your calendar and creating some space for focused time. Ultimately, you get to choose what tools are going to work best for you. And this starting point gets to be the place where you get to try new things. So maybe experiment with one and add another strategy as time goes on. Maybe there are two that you're really excited about and you do want to use multiple tools. Last but not least, choose an accountability buddy. Think about who in your life might be able to check in with you and someone who you can talk to about how your time management is going. Maybe it's a friend, a family member, a mentor, your academic advisor, your success coach. This is how you're going to be able to stay accountable when it comes to taking on a new time management plan. Allow someone to be there to support you through this process. Managing time is not easy. So keep in mind that an accountability buddy is somebody who is there to cheer you on and celebrate your triumphs, but they're also there to challenge you and maybe get you ready to add a new strategy or consider how you might do things differently. Now that we've gotten started, there are a couple of pro tips that I wanted to include in this short workshop so that you can really level up in your time management strategy. The first tip is identifying time wasters. This might not be easy, but is absolutely worth it. Take some time to identify the things that are taking away time from those prioritized tasks on your to-do list, or things that are creeping into your calendar, even though you don't have time blocked off for them. Perhaps it's social media, video games, or Netflix binges. All of these things are valid. They're all important activities. And these are things that we should be blocking off time on our calendar for too. Every evening I block off time for reading, for watching a movie, for cooking dinner. All of these things make their way onto my calendar, but it's also important to call them out when they're getting in the way of you meeting your goals. They're not helping you achieve the goals that you want to achieve. So how can we call those out and move them to a different time in our calendar or in our day so that we can really stay focused? How can we find time in our schedules to incorporate these things in that's not going to keep us from our goals and priorities? So take a moment, pause this recording, and identify a couple of time wasters. Pro tip number 2 is all about setting SMART goals. SMART goals stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. SMART goals help you make specific goals that you can actually attain, rather than setting goals that maybe are too big to manage or large goals without breaking them down into smaller parts. Include goal setting in the part of your planning and time management process. You can make daily, weekly, monthly, semester-long goals for anything, whether it's school, self-care, internships, career. Having your goals written out can help you prioritize tasks and really stay motivated. So take some time now, pause this recording, and set a couple of SMART goals, specific goals, measurable goals, attainable, realistic, and timely, so that you can have some goals ready for the start of the semester. Pro tip number 3 is all about asking for support. Today, we've talked about some simple ways for you to get started with planning and beginning to bring time management into your routine. There are lots of amazing tips and tricks out there, some of which we've discussed today, and I hope that you find a method through this workshop that's really going to work best for you and your schedule. With that being said, please know that the team of professional and student staff at the Center for Academic Achievement at Salle is here for you. If you have questions, concerns, maybe you need an extra hand getting started, please let us know. You're always welcome to reach out to us, and we're here to help support you in figuring out what time management strategy is going to work best for you so that we can support you in your success. Thank you so much for joining me today for this short workshop on time management, and I look forward to seeing your time management glow up. Don't forget to check out our other winter workshops. We're going to leave a link in the description below so that you can register for those, tune into the other recordings, and get prepared for a semester of success.